The London Underground is easier to use than it looks. The map looks like a jumble of colored lines with lots of stations, but really, you don't need to use this map ever. I'm going to cover the map first, and then I'll show you how simple it is to use the Underground without a map. By the way, there are signs all over the place. London is really tourist-friendly that way, not like New York, that if they have signs, a big if, then they will invariably point you in the wrong direction. And unlike New York, there are people who will be happy to help you if you get lost. So the first thing you see on this map is the colored lines. There are 11 different lines, each one named and color-coded. Just be careful and maybe look for both the color and the name of the line. There are 2 blue lines. Piccadilly and Victoria are both blue, and you could easily mix those 2 up if somebody says just look for the blue line. There are also 2 reds, one darker, more burgundy colored, and the other a brighter red, but red nonetheless. So if someone says take the red line or take the blue line, how do you know which red or which blue? Now let's take a look at the map as a whole, and you'll notice that there are numbers on the gray areas. These are what they call zones. There are 9 fare zones, starting with Zone 1 in the area shaped like a milk bottle on its side. That's the center of the city and where most of the tourist attractions are. And then Zone 2 is a little bit further out. Zone 3 is further out, and so on until the furthest zone away from the center, and that's Zone 9. The fares differ depending on which zone you're traveling to and from, and this is calculated automatically when you swipe in and out. So make sure to always swipe out when you leave the station, or else you will be charged the highest fare. By the way, there is a maximum charge per day, so you will cap out at that max. More about how to pay in a moment, but first let's have a closer look at the symbols on this map. This open circle refers to an interchange station. That means the station is served by more than one line, so you can change lines. And this can also include the national rail services. For example, here you can see at the Charing Cross station there's an open circle with the black and brown lines crossing over each other. That means if you're on the black Northern line, you can switch over to the brown Bakerloo line at Charing Cross and vice versa. Then there's this symbol connecting 2 circles. This is called an internal interchange, which means there are tunnels or walkways to get you from one station to another. Here you can see this symbol at the Baker Street station, and right under the internal interchange is a symbol with 2 closed circles and a dotted line between them. This is marked under a 10-minute walk between stations, with the dotted line representing the walking part. So, for example, at the Euston station, if you're on the black Northern line and you need to switch over to the red Metropolitan line at the Euston Square station, you can expect to walk, and it should take less than 10 minutes to walk there. Next, we have these circles with a wheelchair symbol with step-free access, which means there will be some type of a lift, otherwise known as an elevator, from the train to the street. No worries about steps or stairs. The white circle is not as accessible. The step-free access is just from the platform to the street, but not from the train, which means there will be a step up or down from the platform to the train itself. Now, this doesn't have to be complicated, and I'll show you the best app you can use either on your phone or on your computer. But before I show you that, let's spend a moment to talk about how you pay for your ride. The easiest way to pay is by using a contactless bank card. You can buy an Oyster Card and load it up with credit, but the card costs £7 just to buy it, and the fee is no longer refundable as it was in the past, so it's a sunk cost. and you can load and reload it with money from one of the kiosks in many stations. As a visitor, you can buy the card once you get to London, or you can buy a visitor Oyster card before your trip by ordering online and having the card delivered to your home address. You can find more information about the Oyster card at tfl.gov.uk. But really, using your bank card is very easy and you don't need to pay extra for the Oyster card. Each adult has to have their own Oyster card. However, children under age 11 can travel for free when accompanied by an adult paying rider. There are caps on how much you will be charged at most for a day, but make sure you tap in and also on your way out of the station to be charged the proper fare. Don't use a different method of paying when you tap in and when you tap out. Use the same method or you might get charged the max. Or worse, each card will be charged the max. If you're concerned about the cost or just trying to figure out if it makes more sense to share a black cab with some friends rather than taking the train, the TfL provides a handy calculator so you can figure out your fare. Just click on the single fare finder. So let's say I want to see how much the fare is from Golders Green to Tower Hill for one adult. And there are other categories, but let's stick with one adult. And here are the fares. Peak is £3.70. Off-peak is £3 even. Okay, so now how about an easier way to get around if you're not into reading maps? The best app I found for this is the free Citymapper app. It has live information about any delays or planned closures or strikes, and it gives alternative route options with prices and estimated times. It even compares your train trip price-wise and time-wise with taking a cab or walking, and yes, you are sometimes better off walking if you can. So let's say you want to get from Golders Green in the north of London to the Tower of London. So that's quite a trip, as you'll soon see. Let's use the Citymapper app on my laptop, but as you can see, there's also an Apple app and an Android app, so no worries. The app tells me that I can walk. It will only be 151 minutes, but I'll burn 629 calories. I could bicycle, or I could take a cab. The cab will take 54 minutes, which is longer than the train, and it will cost me £38. No, thank you. Here are the suggested routes I can take, starting with the Golders Green station. That's the Northern Line, and it's color-coded with a black line. Okay, so this shows it will take 35 minutes, cost £3 since it's off-peak when I'm doing this, and I will need to change to either the yellow Circle Line or the green District Line. The second choice is to just take one train, the Northern Line, and then walk, and that will take 38 minutes to reach my destination. And there are other choices as well, which involve more trains and will take more times. No, thank you. Let's take a closer look at the first choice, and you can get more details by clicking on it. Okay, so here we can see that there are 10 stops from the Golders Green station to Bank Station, and then I will need to change platforms to the Monument Station. The Monument and Bank Underground are two stations in one, and there's a short walk between the two. Just follow the signs. If I click here where it says 10 stops, then I can see all the stop names, and this leg of the journey will take around 23 minutes. If I click on Change Platforms, you can see the map updates to show the distance between the two stations, and then I would take either the Circle or District Line, yellow or green, for the 2-minute train ride from the Monument Station to the Tower Hill Station, and then it's a 2-minute walk to the Tower of London. There are signs all along the way, so it's hard to get lost, but it can be intimidating, especially if you come from a small town and you're not used to all the hustle and bustle of a big city. If you're using the app on your phone, you will get a live screen showing where you are and in which direction you need to walk. It's really very easy. Now, let's say you want to see Big Ben after your visit to the Tower of London. Why not? It's iconic. and so are all the red phone booths. People actually line up for just a selfie with the phone booth. Okay, so we want to see Big Ben. Let's put in the start as the Tower of London and end at Big Ben, and you can see this on the map to the right. A cab will take 20 minutes and cost £16, and that actually might be worth it if you're tired and you're 6 people. A black cab will accommodate 6 people very comfortably, so that comes up to less than £3 each. Not bad. That is if you can find people to split the fee with. But if you insist on the train, then the yellow circle line and the green line will get you there in 18 minutes for £2.70 each. And let's expand that option. Okay, so first we have to walk to the Tower Hill station. It's a 3-minute walk, and the app shows you exactly how to walk there. Then take the westbound train, either the yellow Central or green District line, and make sure you're going in the right direction to the Westminster station. This will be 7 stops, and if I click, you can see the 7 stops by name. Get off at the Westminster station, and then it's a 4-minute walk to Big Ben. Pay attention to which exit to take, since taking the wrong exit can get you all turned around. Here it says take exit 4, Bridge Street, North exit. The gray dashes represent how you should be walking. By the way, you can download the directions so you can read them offline, just in case you lose your Wi-Fi or internet connection. You won't get lost. So make sure to map out your trip ahead of time with the app and then download it just in case. Also, make sure you've boarded the correct train. It helps to catch the sign at the front of the train to make sure it's the right one. Just make sure you're looking when it whizzes into the station. And then sit back and enjoy the ride. You'll hear every couple of minutes on the loudspeaker,
"See it, say it, sort it."
See it, say it, sort it, and then smile, because you know you're a tourist in London and it's all part of the experience. Oh, and make sure to stand on the right if you are on an escalator so that people can pass you on the left. I would have thought it was the other way around, but I guess the fast lane is on the left, just as it is anywhere else in the world. Have a safe trip and enjoy your stay. Thanks for watching. Bye.